The new movie Gran Turismo is based on an unbelievable true story about a team of unlikely underdogs, a struggling working-class gamer, a failed race car driver, and an idealistic motorsport executive. Together, they risk it all to take on the most elite sport in the world. It's a great, compelling story. It's some of the most famous racing competitions in the world, and they are recreated through the use of actual Nissan GTs and practical effects. It's really cool. It's really a movie that needs to be seen on the big screen. A lot of action, really intense. It's an inspiring, uplifting, action-packed story that proves that nothing in life is impossible. Gran Turismo, based on a true story, is exclusively in movie theaters this August 25th with a special sneak previews this weekend. Get your tickets today, rated PG-13. It is a true story. And I was told that. I watched the movie. I had to Google after. I'm like, give me a break. I never heard about this story. And it's all true, August 25th. And we bring in the actual gamer who pulled this off, Jann Mardenborough, joining us on the volume. When you're a gamer, and there was parts in the movie, and I understand it's Hollywood, so not everything in the movie is true, about your dad, you know, like all dads, is thinking to himself, my son's playing esports, he's an e-gamer, I want to get a real job. And I thought to myself, is this Hollywood? Or could you tell us, was there doubts by your family? Your mom supported you, but your dad was like, you know, I understand, like I'm a dad. Was there conflict with your dad, or was that a little bit of Hollywood?
Well, it wasn't really, esports wasn't a thing back then in motorsports anyway, 12 years ago, 2011. I've had it all my life. I guess any millennial born in the 90s has had the same thing with PlayStation, all the games. I've had it in school, coming up from school, you have to do 2 hours revision before that thing even gets turned on. Forever go outside, no, I want to play PlayStation instead. It's forever been a thing. So when I was talking to the producers and script writers back in, this was 2019, I mean, I just told them my experiences. It's like, yeah, my dad wanted me to go outside and have a childhood like he did, but he didn't quite understand that I'm also socializing online with my friends with my microphone, and it's kind of normal, whereas back then it's still, you have different generation not really understanding the current generation. So no, it's not Hollywood. That's how it was.
You know, Jann, it's interesting you say that. How old are you now? Because you sound like my 16-year-old son who says, Dad, I am socializing. I'm socializing on my computer.
I'm 31, and like even now it's another level, because not only, 12 years ago, I guess, I don't know if Twitch was a thing back then. YouTube was barely a thing, but certainly online streaming wasn't a thing. Whereas now you can have, I don't know, like millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people watch you play a game and also socialize in the chat. That's something which is, again, for me, I don't do that because my thing is in real life. But when I look to these content streamers, and it's like, yeah, they're talking to so many people at the same time. It's like a social event.
So I had never heard of this story. And as I watched the movie, it's very compelling. I literally had to Google, okay, is this real? So you're basically a gamer. You get invited to the GT Academy. You win it. And because of an aspirational, motorsport executive and a driver who has real doubts about you, you come across as very confident. But, I mean, let's be honest. This story, there's a reason Hollywood wanted to make this story. It doesn't even sound true. Did you ever have a doubt? Gamer to getting in a car before that first race starts. Were you anxious? Were you nervous? Or did you have this sort of inner scoreboard and believe, you know what, there's advantages that I have over these drivers?
Never thought that. But I'm someone who's very headstrong. And I'm somebody who I think who has a good like building blocks, like from my father telling me from a young age, do something in life which brings you purpose and that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And that for me is cars. So I'm a headstrong person, so that is what all I wanted to do. So when the opportunity presented itself of this is a chance of becoming a racing driver, I was all in on that. I didn't think I could win. I didn't think I could lose. It was this weird frame of mind during the whole process of entering it at home on my PlayStation, and also getting to the finals of the academy, where I was like a blinkered racehorse, where I didn't want to think about winning or losing. It was just like, okay, what's next? Let's
Right.
do the best we can. Learn from my mistakes and the previous instructors' comments, and the next time in the car, don't make that mistake again, or let's improve. It was this weird mindset. I never thought that I had an advantage over anybody else, because I went in there with the understanding that I'm to be a sponge. That was my another thing I remember thinking, like, it's like all the information that's going to be told at me during this academy process at GT Academy is going to be good information, because all the drivers, all the instructors are current racing drivers, all the ex-professionals. So whatever they're telling me is going to be correct. I have no preconceived ideas of how to
Right.
race a racing car. So I was just absorbing all of it, and I never thought that I had an advantage over anybody else. Really, it's not. I was very much aware that I'm the first step of the ladder, because there's people that were there at the academy who'd had drifting experience, have done track days, have done karting. I was the least experienced person of
Right.
everybody there. And it was the same thing in entering motorsport after the academy. I'm very much aware that I'm here to. All I cared about is my progression. I didn't care about anything else. I want to make sure that my progression is exponential for as long as possible. So all I am is very headstrong. It's like, okay, that's what I want to do, and I'll do it. I don't think about, confident in showing it egotistically. It's not really my scene. Even now, it's like I don't say what I've done. It's like the people that put, I guess, their school accomplishments, MBAs and stuff in their bios. It's just like, I'm just not that. I have receipts of what I've done in the past.
Right.
And the movie thing is fantastic. I never thought it'd be a thing, because it's so random. So when it first got told to me, I didn't believe them, and I thought, why me? I'm just racing my racing car. That's all
Right.
I've been doing.
So it's interesting, and you're a gamer and then you're a driver. Once you'd succeeded at driving, did you go back to gaming sometimes and think actually it helped you as a driver? So you transitioned from gamer to driver. When you went back to gaming, are there things in gaming that actually are advantages that drivers probably could use?
Well, the main reason why drivers and I still use sims is because of the limited time you have on circuits. So in
Right.
the off season, from I don't know, November till March, you there's no real driving. It's cold here in the UK during those months. So the next best thing is being in a simulator.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just laps. It's time in the seat. Yeah, it's that. That's what it's currently used for. That's what I still use the sim for.
So, Jan, I've been in a race car twice. Now, more of a stock car American version, which is not as slick as what you drove. My takeaway is, wow, it's really hot in here and you better be in shape. So in the movie, the first time you were in that car, take me to the physical. I mean, did you come out of that thing and wake up the next morning and you were a wreck? Was it physically more daunting than you thought it would be?
It was an acclimative, yeah, it was an acclimative, like sensation really, because during those academy days, day one, day two, day three, you kind of feel fine. But then in the later days, I was aware that my hands were starting to get quite sore, my forearms, even my neck to a little bit, to a point. And then certainly when I transitioned to like really quick racing cars after the academy when I'm actually racing, then it became a thing. It became a real thing. Like there's muscles behind your ears which you don't really work in normal day-to-day life. But when you've done 2 days testing in a Formula 3 car at a track where five of the corners out of seven are full throttle, and you wake up the next morning, you lift your head off the pillow, and your neck is just is in bits, and you've got another day testing. Yeah, it's a thing. It's really GT cars. They get very hot. It's quite
Yes.
hot in there. You have to be lean. You have to be aerobically fit. I train every day, and not only because of my job, because I actually enjoy training. It's
Right.
part of my lifestyle. But yeah, I've recently, I never did it before because I never wore the technology, but I had a race in May at Fuji in Japan. It was a 24-hour race, and I have like this fitness tracker, this
Yeah. Yeah.
on my wrist, and I left it on during the race, and over 2 hours, I think I burnt 870 calories.
Wow.
Heart rate was average 150 beats per minute. I peaked at around 175, I think. So it's like you're stressed for a long time. It's
Right.
and mainly the heat in a GT car. The heat really makes your body work.
Yeah, I was going to say a 24-hour race like Le Mans. I'm just a novice. How do you get, obviously there are probably mechanisms to keep you hydrated, but you're burning through 800 calories every 2 hours. How do you eat? I mean, do you go into a race? No, you don't want to go into a race like heavy and tired. So you want to go in fairly lean. How do you eat in a 24-hour race when you're burning those kind of calories?
Um, I think for me, I've always ate at normal times, so I still stick to my um during just before the race and during. I still stick to my normal plan. I'll eat when I'm hungry. I'll eat my 3 meals a day. But it's not so much when I get out of the car, I need to grab food immediately. It's more when you wake up in the middle of the night and then you're in the car like, I don't know, 4 a.m. And then it's planning your times of eating in really unusual hours, because then your body's like, I'm hungry, but it's 4 o'clock in the morning. This isn't normal. It's an interesting experience because you're hungry at weird times.
Right.
All I've done really is whenever I'm hungry, just make sure I'm not hungry when I get in the car, then I'm fine.
This baseball season continues to heat up. You could watch it on TV, but what's better than going to the park on a beautiful summer day with friends? For last minute amazing deals on tickets, check out Game Time, the fastest growing ticket app in the United States. And it doesn't stop at just sports. Summer concerts, comedy tours, all across the country. Game Time has your tickets. Download the Game Time app, and the redeem code is Colin. That's me, COLIN. $20 off your first purchase. $20, no matter where you live. Go out, end the summer in style. Comedy, baseball, concerts. It's the Game Time app. Last minute deals. Lowest prices guaranteed. $20 off your first purchase. $20. Terms apply. So you dominate a game like Gran Turismo. Are there other games, as a gamer, does it transition in esports that you're just good on almost any gaming platform you crush?
Well, I think now I would never put in the hours required to be at a level where I'm the best, because I don't find that enjoyable. But also, whatever I do on a sim now is for my real life performance in the car.
Right.
So I never go into that detail anymore. But I can jump on they all have their nuances. They're all slightly different, but I can jump on another sim, whether that be on PC or another title on PlayStation, and be quick. It's a racing game. It's what I've been doing since I was 8. So
Right.
I'm kind of all right at doing them.
How did you view, because I thought the movie was very compelling. I thought your The actor that played you was very realistic. What is it like, and this will never happen to me, to watch yourself being played by somebody else in a movie? What is that like?
The two weird points that are very strange is firstly, when somebody has your race suit and it has J. Mardenborough on it, that's weird to see. And then, but the weirdest is somebody wearing your helmet, wearing your colors. Because in motorsport, our helmet is the only thing as a racing driver we get to customize by ourselves. Everything else is due to the team or manufacturer or sponsor that we have. The race helmet is fair game for us. We can design it however we want. So to see somebody wear my colors, because my helmet
Personal.
doesn't have my name on it for a reason. Because when I designed the helmet, I designed it myself, and I didn't want my name on the helmet. Because I said this at a time where I was kind of, again, maybe second step of the ladder, but I said to myself, look, people are going to know the colors of my helmet just because they're going to know the colors of my helmet. I don't need my name on it. I don't need anything else. Those are my colors, and I'll be recognized from that. That's what a helmet's for. So to see somebody else, see Archie wear the helmet it's very weird for me.
So David Arbor is the failed race car driver, and he's very cynical of your mission. You're a gamer. You get to be a racer. Did you feel animosity from drivers in the industry where you could kind of sense it, the temperature in the room? You felt like people sort of rolled their eyes at what you were trying to accomplish?
Well, this isn't all racing drivers. That it's not like every single racing driver I've had a negative experience. It's only been a very few. Most drivers have been very welcoming. Of course, the movie focuses on the relationship with one in particular that was quite negative, and it's the main driver of the story. But this person is based off a real person that I was teammates with in 2013, and it was, like you say, there was a lack of respect that I was given. I was very much aware back then as well that I'm still cutting my teeth. I'm still earning my reputation. I wasn't expecting people to be very friendly and open and race as if you're on their level, because I haven't done anything. I've been racing at that point maybe 2 years, and now. But I was aware that if I was racing against me, coming up the conventional route, I would hate me. So I kind of had some sympathy. I had some sympathy because my ego is quite big, especially in my world of motorsport. So to be racing against somebody whose barrier to entry to the sport is £500, and then maybe my sponsor or family or private monies, they've spent hundreds of thousands, maybe millions to get me to this level, and I'm competing against me. It's like I would be like, oh, I gotta make sure I beat this guy because I'm gonna look silly. I would hate to lose against me back then. It would be so I have some sympathy really, but there was some people, some drivers, kind of when you're strapped to a car which can do damage to people, do damage to humans, and it's a missile at some points. And then when that's used in a way that life can be threatened, then I will talk about it. So when I was talking to producers and script writers about rivals, there was a person in mind about that, and the experience I had with this person, because there was a lack of respect on circuit. Face to face, it is what it is, but on circuit, there was very clear there was nothing there. One more kind of example, which is still funny to this day, because I've mentioned it so many times. I wonder if the guy would ever contact me. But my first ever race after the academy was in a place called Pembrey, my local Welsh circuit. Mm-hmm. And I was having a conversation with somebody, and this guy interjected, and he introduced himself as the Welsh sports car and saloon car champion of 2010. I thought it was very strange for somebody to introduce themselves as a champion. But anyway, I kind of let him talk. And this was the first time I experienced something verbal to my face where he thought he was here. and I was here. And he said to me, if you see me in your mirrors, don't fight me, just let me go. I mean, I've been racing. I hadn't done my first race at the academy at that point, and I was like, "Ooh, I've got a man next to me who's giving me the playing the big man," and it just lit a fire. I was already kind of psyched up, but this guy kind of threw logs and gasoline on my soul, and yeah, it's needless to say, he stayed in my mirrors, but that was the first kind of experience of, egos.
Hierarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did by the way, the first time you faced this person, and you can mention him, did you beat him?
Oh yes, yeah, that weekend. I mean, this was grassroots level. This wasn't high competition at all. This was getting my race license. However, who Kappa is based off, this was during Formula 3, so 2013 this was. So I've been racing a couple of years, still very new, but yeah, the level quite high, Formula 3.
That had to feel great.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I had an experience in broadcasting like that. I still remember everybody's name. I still remember it well, where an older broadcaster in my first broadcast ever said kind of the same thing. I never let it go. It was jet fuel. And, the truth is, when you're young, I think people think they can intimidate younger people. And what they're doing is doing a favor for you. I mean, when you're young, you've got a mind like a trap. And I was influenced much more when I was young than when I'm older. And so the truth is, that had such a positive impact on you, probably, because it just laser focused. Not that you weren't a focused kid, but the fact that you remember that story, you probably remember the colors, the people, the moment, the time of day. It's probably very clear to you, I would guess.
Yeah, it's clear because it was the first time somebody saying it to my face. I mean, I had a chip off my shoulder anyway, for another reason after the academy, but I won't go so much into that. So I had this this fire to prove others, but also to myself. And then this guy just kind of added some more fuel to what was currently going on, and just kind of, I just remember it. And then later on, with other people, for the general. Since I've been racing 12 years, the interaction, now it's fine. I've earned my stripes. I've got receipts, and with racing drivers where I've earned the respect. That's all. It's all good. Whereas back then, in where the movie portrays those early years, yes, it was more difficult, shall we say. It was interesting times.
Gran Turismo is the movie. Congratulations on the story, the movie, your success. It's a really fun watch, and I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you. Pleasure.